Alright, so today I'm back with yet another chapter review, and today we will go over chapter 313, which got me jumping up and down in my seat as both Nigeria and Blue Lock are getting off some insane attacks, and both being dangerously close to scoring the first goal, not to mention what happens at the end, but you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, please leave a like and a comment as well as join the Discord server, and subscribe to my other channels down in the description, and with that out of the way, let's get into it. So to begin chapter 312 with the text saying, everything started at that time, at that place, where Onazi gave them a future. We then see the four main Nigeria players playing when they were younger. Onazi has the ball and is styling on everyone while Bello tells him to go. Obo Abona calls it unreal, and Kuso tells Onazi to finish it. And we then see Onazi doing just that as he most likely scores, and the text says that he became their beacon of hope. We then get to the announcer, who says that alright, once again, their commentators today are him. Teriasa Atsuto and Natsuki ask what's with this U20 World Cup, saying that the heat for the opening match is unbelievable and they are then about to go over the regulations for this tournament. Teriasa says that first the 64 participating countries are divided into 16 groups of 4 teams each, and they'll compete in a round-robin format, and the top 2 teams from each group will advance. From there, the top 32 teams move into the final tournament, including the third-place playoff. A total of 128 heated matches await, ushering in a new era of intense battles. Teriasa continues as he says that, and during the matches, the instant translator earphones that shined in the Neo Egoist League will be specially permitted on the field. After that, Natsuki interrupts as he screams that the match is about to start and says that he's getting really excited. Teriasa then says that now a new future of Japanese football will be paved and that the new chapter of Blue Lock, the U20 World Cup, begins. And we then see the kickoff with Rin and Isagi rushing forward. Meanwhile, Onazi passes the ball to Kuso. Kuso now obviously has the ball, but Rin and Isagi are right before him. However, that's no issue at all it seems, as Kuso is able to get through Isagi in no time. After that, Kuso just says that it's the shortest and fastest and calls it the best move as he passes the ball upwards right between both Ryo and Rin. It looks like the ball is headed to Bachira, but just then Bello comes by and tells Kuso that it's the spot, and somehow he takes the ball and is easily able to move around Bachira. Bachira is just impressed by this, and he compliments him. Bello, on the other hand, continues the attack and shoots the ball up on the field and tells them to quick counter. However, we see that at the bottom of the panel, we have Ryu, who tells Bello that the pass was sloppy, but then Onazi appears and says that it's completely fine because he's here. But Ryu isn't fazed, as he tells their captain to come on, and there we see the glorious Aiku appearing. Aiku smirks and tells Onazi that he has some serious springs on him, but Onazi just smiles and tells them that they are wide open, as he is able to see a hole in their defense, as he then shoots the ball while being in mid-air, which is so insanely sick. But what's even more sick is that Nico then comes and tanks the shot with his head. He then decides to just aura farm, as he hits this insanely cool pose, as he tells Onazi that gaps must be filled immediately and calls it the basics of pest control. Onazi looks pretty shocked by this. However, he also looks amazed. After that we see a couple of feathers appearing, and I think both you and I know what that means, as we then see Karasu jumping up to meet with the ball and tells the newly reborn Blue Lock to go, as he shoots the ball high up towards the field to start their counterattack. We see both of the commentators being ecstatic by this, as they say that here it comes, the counterattack, and that the ball goes to Hiyori. Hiyori traps it so cold, and then calls it all reflex, which just sounds so cool, like he's got some new aura to him coming into the U20 World Cup. Because after that, he makes one of the most diabolical and disgusting crosses I have ever seen in this series. Just look at the curve on that pass. The commentator says that with only a few touches, the ball goes straight to the front line, and we then see Rin, who is the lucky individual who gets the ball. Hey, it's Natsu, mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? And we see him completely destroying and embarrassing not just one, but 2 of the Nigeria players, like none of them even knew what had happened to them. However, after that, the last of the 4 main Nigeria players comes, and it's Obo Abona who tells Rin that he stopped him cold. But seriously, who did he think that he was, and that he could stop the beast of Blue Lock? Rin, who activates his predator eyes and tells Obo Abona that he is lukewarm as the ball has already been fired. Obo Abona just looks back, and he genuinely looks scared by that, as he is in amazement by the insane curve on Rin's shot. However, just as the ball is about to go into the goal, Onazi hits the Loki pose and blocks the shot. telling them that it's all good because he is here while having a smirk on himself. The goalkeeper is probably just thanking God that Onazi was there, because we can clearly see that he would have had no chance of saving that shot. The commentators are then in pure awe as they say that Onazi stopped it and asks just how he is able to be there. They continue and says that both teams exchange brilliant opening attacks and says that this is sure to be a fiercer battle between evenly matched rivals in the opening game. We also see the spectators just being in total awe by everything they are witnessing. But we then get to someone who has become a new version of himself, and it's of course Isagi who says nah, and that he has transcend. And while he is in his little puzzle realm, he says that he sees it, and that he sees a sure winning vision. And firstly, this panel just looks awesome, I just had to say it. Anyway, the ending text says, a peak of the winning path. The Demon King, adapted to Nigeria, is about to take control of the field. The next chapter will be called Core, and I'm guessing that it refers to how Isagi will become the core of the team now that he has gotten his winning vision. Which, firstly, I'm curious to know what it could be, as this match has only been going on for about 2 minutes. But hey, it's Isagi, so we just have to let him cook. Now for everyone wondering, there will be no break next week, which is just amazing. Like, the authors are on a godly run right now, so all credit should go towards them, and hopefully they are able to keep this up, while obviously being healthy and not overworking themselves. Now we just have to get right into this chapter, because it was a great beginning to the match, but I have some nitpicking. But let's start with the cooler things first. Now let's just talk about Kuso to start it off, and like, why haven't we seen him earlier? Like, he is so cool, but to be honest, he's just like Yukimiya. But as Yukimiya is pretty much in the shadow realm, and will probably be there for a good amount of matches, it was fun to see someone like him. Now Bello as well, like, how can you physically hate him? His playstyle just looks so insanely fun. However, I want him to have some interactions with Bachira. Now I know that they had some in this chapter, but I meant like in the speaking way, as I feel like they would be really similar, so getting some interactions between the two would be really dope. Now let's go to Onazi, and first off, how he isn't a new generation 11 is kind of insane, as he is very good. Now in the leaks, I said that his whole thing with saying that it was fine as he is there was pretty cool, and it was. However, as I read this chapter, I low-key found it annoying. And if that will be his whole thing, I mean like, him always saying that and kind of saying that not to disappoint his friends, I don't know. I feel like it can get really annoying, but we will just have to wait and see. I do find it pretty dope that they were all childhood friends though, as that just makes it feel a bit more lively, if that makes sense. Now we have to talk about our aura farming King Nico. Like, bro is taking a shot right to his head, and then he pulls out an expression. I don't know what happened to him during his training days, but he is a different breed, and to think that it was him and not Aiku who got the first spotlight out of the defenders was really cool, and I'm wishing that he will get a lot more attention as the match continues, because honestly, if I have to be honest, then he is my favorite defender by far. Now I already talked about Hiyori before, but how could I not mention this disgusting pass again? Like this pass going around 2 players who just look speechless? It was so cool. Honestly, we don't even need Sei anymore when we have Hiyori. Now I thought that all of the main Nigeria players got their spotlight except for Obo Abona, who just got done dirty in this chapter, as he was pretty much not even an obstacle for Rin to get behind. Now obviously he will get his spotlight further down the line, but yeah. Also regarding that and Rin's whole shot, I saw a lot of people on X being mad over that. It's almost always the attackers or midfielders who defend the goal, and not so much the goalkeeper and defenders. And honestly, I haven't thought about it so much until now, but it's honestly so true. I know that Blue Lock is its own thing, and it focuses a lot more on hype rather than reality, which I prefer that way. However, when I was reading Awashi, something about the goalkeeper saving was so thrilling, but all of that will change when we get introduced to the madman who will be the new Generation 11 goalkeeper. Lastly, let's just talk about the GOAT, Isagi, and I feel like the next chapter will be his to shine. Like he has just said that he has seen the winning vision, and the next chapter being called Core, I feel like heavily implies that it will be about him, and he will probably explain what he is going to do. Also, before this chapter, I thought that this match would be really long, but something is telling me that it will be a bit like the FC Barca match and last around 12 chapters, as it will just serve as an introduction match. However, I have talked for way too long, but please let me know firstly what you thought about this chapter, and then how long you think that this match will last. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you're at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.